My name is Ruth Walter. I am the County Legislator for District 15. That's North Yonkers, East Yonkers, and the Village of Bronxville. I've been in office since 2020. I was sworn in 2020, so just under 2 years. I'm the chair of the Environment and Health Committee, so we have a lot of information and actions regarding the environment. Top of the mind right now is our recent flooding disaster that happened after Hurricane Ida, and how we really did have a tremendous amount of damage because of all the water that has come, rushing down. I think it was 8 inches in 6 hours, which is really not something we've ever seen before. I follow the science of climate change. I know that we need to reduce our carbon footprint, and we need to find different ways to find our energy sources that are not burning fossil fuels. So as a county legislator, there's a couple of things that I've been able to do in this way. We vote on electric vehicles, which will reduce our reliance on gasoline. And if you know, gasoline goes through a lot of very chemically intensive process to get it out of the ground and into your car. So right away, we're having less of an impact on the environment the more electric vehicles that we put on the road. But I'm also really interested in making our streets more walkable, more accessible to bicycles and pedestrians, kids walking to school, commuters taking electric bikes up and down our big hills in order to get to the train. And every single person that makes that choice takes more cars off the road for other people who can't make that choice. So I think we need to have all options on the table. If you need to drive your car and you're in your kid pickup line, that's totally great. But want to recognize that every family that makes a choice to walk has made your wait a little bit shorter. So we also, I'm also a small business owner. I've been a business owner in Bronxville for 11 years. We have employed over 100 young people, mostly young people, students from Sarah Lawrence, students from Bronxville High School, students from Yonkers, in order to give them that important first job. And we sell cheese and other fine foods. We're a part of the community here, and hoping to open a second store in Scarsdale. So we are the true mom and pop shop. My daughter started working there when she was 9 years old. This is something that both my children grew up being a part of. And, it's a really great way to contribute to your community is to be a small business owner, have all kinds of respect for people who start and can continue in that space. So COVID was a health and continues to be a health and an economic disaster for our county. We have emerged from the worst of COVID, but when I look back and I think about the businesses that didn't make it, the people that we lost, the lives that we lost, the lives that are still being impacted with long-term COVID symptoms, I look back and I feel such a tremendous sadness for our county. On the bright side, we did it was all hands on deck. We talked about flying the plane while or building the plane while you're flying it. We didn't know how to do pandemics. The last time we had a global pandemic was in 1920. So we had to learn all those skills. We had to learn whether the virus was really transmissible through surfaces, which it pretty much isn't. But we were scrubbing things. We were doing all kinds of contactless pickup, and now we really concentrate on respiration and making sure that when you're in a closed environment for a long time, you wear a mask. The Delta variant is here. It's able to infect vaccinated people as well as unvaccinated. If you are vaccinated, you are much less likely to go to the hospital. You're much less likely to die, but you still can catch it. It's not nice. My husband and I both had COVID at the very beginning last year in March. I was sick for a few days. He was sick for a much longer time. And one of our colleagues, Glenn Bolito from the East Chestertown Board, who is a Bronxville resident, he did die from COVID, and many other people that we know of, and obviously their families love and miss terribly. So during COVID, my office, we gave out thousands of free, PPPs. We also helped small business connect to PPE, which is sorry, that's out. So we gave out PPE and we connected people with PPP, which is Paycheck Protection Program. We also allowed small businesses, gave them information about applying for direct grants from the county. In my own district, we had over $730,000 given to small businesses to help them stay afloat, to help people stay employed. And what we really want to do now, we're kind of in year 1.5 of this COVID pandemic, is, we want to go back to school. We want our kids, in school, in person, and we have to be careful with each other while we do that. And that means vaccination, that means testing, and that means masks. And, I'm so glad to see small businesses, kind of rebound. But again, we have to take care of each other. We did so well last year, and encouraging people with the latest science is my job, and it's my pleasure, because getting information out to people. We have a fantastic county newsletter that we send out, and we really want people to read it, read about the programs, whether it's FEMA programming after Ida, Hurricane Ida, when people lost things, they lost their cars. We really want that information to get to people as they need it quickly. And so giving out information, giving out the PPE, making sure grant information was available. I encourage everybody here to sign up for my e-newsletter. It's just so much information. The county is big and we have tons of programs that go on. So we're trying to get people the information to sign up for good things. Oh, and one other thing, I really was touched by, the loneliness and isolation that senior citizens had during COVID. So for the 2021 capital budget, I proposed something called a senior fitness park, which allows senior citizens to gather safely outdoors. A lot of our senior centers had to close because they couldn't keep people safe. And so when you think about how lonely and isolated people have been, even if they were sick and they got better, or they never got sick. So these centers around the county, we put $1 million into the capital budget. They will allow seniors to safely gather outside in a space that's their own. So, we see Italians in the streets of Rome, sitting next to each other on a park bench. We need those places to welcome seniors. We need our county to really take seriously the fact that seniors need to be together safely outside. I ran in 2019 and won, and really have made a change in our district. I think people see me visible, they see me coming to events. I replaced somebody who was there for 14 years. And just by comparison, we talk about money to the district, not just the capital money that I put in that will benefit all residents of my district and the county as a whole, but specific county contracts to my district totaled $330,000. And so that was funding for things like libraries, Zoom programming, new community gardens, new outreach for Black maternal health. We want the organizations that are on the ground in District 15 to have the money to continue their work. And I was able to secure contracts for these local businesses and nonprofits in order to reach our constituents. So I'll say for one of them, Bundles for Joy, which is in Yonkers, and basically brings new babies and new moms all the things that they need if they're low income. And so just by comparison, my predecessor brought $5,000 to the district. And so when you think about fighting for your district, I am a fighter, I'm an advocate. I will continue that work. And I ask my voters and I ask my my residents and my neighbors to please continue to vote for me, because this is the work that I love, and this is the work that I'm so honored to do as your county legislator. Very supported by districts, people across my district, the west side of my district, the east side of my district, and in turn, I have gotten to know so many different communities. I represent 55,000 people in Yonkers and Bronxville, and I am a hard worker. I want to continue this work, but I also want people to understand how important it is that government works well. Government needs to have people who are elected for the right reasons. We want to elect people who are putting others first. We want to elect people who are hardworking and continue to show up for their district. We also want to elect people who are listeners, people who can take in a lot of information. I always say the budget of the county is, I'm sure you can see, is this high. And there are tons of different departments. It's a very complicated budget. The legislation is complicated, and we need people who are informed and ready to work. I've been doing this now for almost 2 years. It's work that it's work that I really, really feel very experienced and suited for, and I don't want to go back to, a little bit of neglect. I feel like our district was neglected before, and I don't want to go back. I think we have a great team in place now. Our county executive is doing wonderful things. We're investing in the district. We're investing in Westchester as a whole, and I hope the voters will continue this. My experience and my work, but they can do that by going to the polls. So vote for me on November 2nd, and there's 8 days of early voting starting on October 23rd. I'm all over social media. If you want to follow me, Legislator Ruth Walter is my official government Facebook, but then there's also Friends of Ruth Walter, Elect Ruth Walter on Facebook and Twitter. So thank you so much for your time.